everyone, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me this week. This week we are going to do our Bible lesson, and then we are going to do a fun craft that I think that you're going to enjoy. And this week, Jesus tells a parable, and I'm wondering if you can guess the setting of Jesus' story. We've been there the last 2 weeks. The setting takes place in a vineyard again. And if you remember, a vineyard is a place where you grow grapes. Now, you might be wondering, why does Jesus often tell stories that take place in a vineyard? And that is because grapes were a very popular food when Jesus was alive. So here are a couple little fun facts about grapes. Grapes grow on vines, and they grow in bunches. Grapes come in different colors, green, red, and purple. Here's something you might not know. People have been growing grapes for 8,000 years, and that is a very long time. So let's hop into our Bible story, and let's see what Jesus has to say about the vineyard this week. Many people wanted to listen to Jesus. They believed he was a prophet who shared important messages from God. Jesus told stories called parables that were about everyday people, places, and things. Parables help people understand God's messages. Jesus' parables were about things like farmers and seeds, families, and vineyards. Lots of vineyards, which we have found. So our Bible reading today comes from our Spark Story Bible, and it comes from the Gospel of Matthew, and it's called Parable of the Vineyard. The Pharisees were a group of people who didn't like what Jesus had to say and treated Jesus badly. Jesus told the Pharisees a story to help them understand that what they were doing was wrong. Jesus said, "A man built a vineyard and planted grapes. He hired workers to care for the grapes. When the grapes were ripe, the man sent his servants one by one to get the grapes. But each time, the workers watching the vineyard hurt the servants. The man tried sending his own son, but they hurt him too." The Pharisees realized that Jesus was talking about them. Every time God sent someone to help them learn more about God, they were mean to that person instead of listening to what that person had to say. Jesus was there to save them, but they weren't even listening. Even though the Pharisees were mean to Jesus, he still continued to try to teach them about God's love. So in this story, he's telling the Pharisees that, hey, I am the messenger from my Father. I am the messenger from God, and my job is to deliver the message of God's love, and that's what I'm trying to do. And you are being mean to me and trying to stop me, and that is wrong. So what does that mean for us? Well, we want to make sure that we're not like the vineyard workers or like the Pharisees. We want to make sure that we're open to the message that Jesus was delivering, and that's about God's love. And we want to make sure that in our own lives that we're delivering and spreading the message of God's love. So we're going to do that through our actions and our words. Remember last week, it's about actions and words. And we want those two things, we want them to match up. Okay, everyone, it is craft time. And you know that I love crafts. I love making art. So today's project, you're going to need a couple supplies, but you probably will have, hopefully you'll have some of this stuff at your house. So you're going to need paper towels. You're going to need school glue, just the white school glue. You're going to need water. You're going to need a container. And you're going to need something to put your artwork on. So I have this canvas board. If you have canvas, or even probably some very sturdy cardboard, you'd be okay. You'd be able to do it. So what we're going to do first is we are going to take the water. I have a cup of water here. I'm going to pour it in my container. And then I'm going to add glue. Lots of glue to it. So much glue that I'm going to take the lid right off. So we're going to add it in here. And we're going to mix it up. I'm going to soak my paper towels in my water glue mixture. And then I'm going to lay it out on my board. And why are you doing that, Miss Jen? You must be asking yourself. Well, instead of painting on something flat, like this canvas board, we're going to add a little bit of texture to it. We're going to raise it up to make it look three-dimensional, which is pretty cool. So, I'm going to change the angle of this so you can see my hands and you can see what I'm doing. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to make a flower, but you can make anything that you would like to. So, let your imagination run wild. But all we're going to do is we're going to dip the paper towels in, we're going to wring it out, and then we're going to place it on our canvas or our box, whatever you're using. So, I am going to put this here. And this is going to be the center of my flower. And I'm going to press it down. All right. And now I'm going to make the petals. You might have to tear some paper towel off if it's too big. One petal, and I'm just going to keep going until my flower is complete. So this is what I have. Here's my finished flower that I did. Here's the leaves, the stem, and then the petals. And now I'm going to let it dry for at least a day. So get to this step and then put it aside, let it dry, and then you're going to need paint because then we're going to paint it. And that's where the magic happens. Once your project's dry, now we paint. Okay, let's close with our prayer. Let's put our hands together and bow our heads. Dear God, thank you for our many blessings. Please help us to be like Jesus. Please help us to be good messengers for you. Help us deliver words and acts of love in our own life. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I will see you next time. If you would like to send me a picture of your completed craft that you did, I would love to see it, and I will gladly share it with everyone else. So I hope to hear from you. Take care, continue being kind and awesome like I know you all are. See you next time. God bless.